What's up, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, into YSN Primetime. DJ Yoakley, Jeff Bezos here, and over in Chardon, Ohio, we got Quinn Pushkar and the legend himself, Steve Leslie. Boys, how are we?
Doing good. How about you, Deej? Ready to go?
Whew, you're not kidding, man. What a ride up to Warren. Anytime you get to ride with this guy, it's an adventure in itself. We've seen about everything from East Palestine to Warren, and we're here. We're ready for JFK football, and we are ready here on YSN Primetime. Boys, you had a long day. You stopped at a Bob Evans already. Talk football. You were on the Power Hour. Talk to me about your day as a whole so far. We'll start with you, Stevie.
You know what? It's been a great day. I've enjoyed being able to spend the day, obviously, with Quinn and Richie. Two of my favorites, DJ, on our network. You know that. But got to the stadium, great stadium. But we are outdoors in a tent. The Canfield football staff, the coaches will also be outside. So a little different look for this football team. But had a chance to talk to Mike Cochran, Deej, who's one of my favorite guys about this football game. And he's one of those guys that's a defensive guy through and through. And he said, in his opinion, the key tonight for a Canfield win is the play of their linebackers against an offense like this. And talking with Coach Pat, DJ, every week, Connor Ritz and Chris Samarone and that linebacking core is as good as you get. So I like this football team's chances.
So when you think about, everybody seems to say, the pundits, so to speak, that aren't wearing the brand, that there's a lot at stake, obviously, in this game, but there's a lot of cards stacked against our cards. So when you think about what Canfield's up against, Steve, I mean, Chardon's a good football team. They're in that game for a reason, too. How do you like their team stacked up against Canfield tonight?
I think it's a good matchup. I really do. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of scoring tonight. I really don't. They don't give up many points. They score a lot. Sessions, DJ, in this game are going to be critical. You go against the wing T. They're going to play the game 3-4 yards at a time and try to hit you over the top big. For Canfield, I just love the way this football team plays with Brock Lowry leading the way. Ethan Fletcher moves from quarterback to the receiving spot. A good offensive line. I wouldn't say the cards are stacked against this football team. This team knows how to win. They know how to compete, number one. And I think the schedule, you and I have talked about this, prepares them. If they could stay close, DJ, and get up and get a lead against Chardon, I want to see what Chardon does playing from behind, which they have not done a whole lot. And I think that's the key to the game. If it's close, this Canfield team is going to pull out and pull off a win in the end.
Stevie, I said it on the Power Hour. I'll say it again. Those interviews with Coach Pav are some of the best that we have. He makes me want to run through a wall. I know he makes you want to lace him up again with the shoulder pads and lace up the boots again. Talk to me about what a great leader he has been, especially amongst the adversity that 2020 has presented.
You know what? It's interesting you say that. I listened to your coach's corner with Coach Yeagley and his wife, another great leader. And let's be honest. The 5 football teams we have playing the next 2 nights have great leaders. There's no doubt about it. Great leaders on the field, great leaders as ADs. When you talk to Mike Cochran said, DJ, YSN is the face and home of the Canfield Cardinals, and that made Quinn and I very proud to hear that.
I mean, it's awesome to hear that. You sent me a nice text on the way here, and as always, Canfield was always that one that got away from us early on, and we're so happy to be the home of the Cardinals. But there's 4 other teams that we're home to that are still playing some football. One of them being the Warren JFK Eagles. Quinn, you had a chance to kind of watch not only game tape, but we've talked about it at length with Warren JFK. Cam Hollabaugh and Jesse Likens. Is that what it comes down to, those 2 young men?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going to get the front rush, of course. But, yeah, I mean, the offense runs through those guys, and they do a tremendous job. Coach Pologo does a great job with JFK and everything that they do. And, I mean, don't forget defensively, they got one of the better defenses, too. As half my face is missing there. Okay.
My bad.
Yeah, I mean, Warren JFK, they just have a great program. They do a great job. Coach Perlogo does a great job out there. And Likens and Alba, I'm excited to hear you say a lot about them.
I'm excited too. When you look at this guy over here, Jeff, you're excited to be part of this game tonight. What's the biggest kind of draw for you about this Warren JFK Eagle team?
Obviously, the Cam Hollowball is one of the big draws because you talk about him so much. I'm actually super excited to see the kid that broke his hand and snapped with his left hand. Eddie Kiernan. I'm excited to see that because I was a center at one point when I played football, and it was just tough enough for me to snap with my right hand. And necessarily, if I broke my right hand, to snap with my other opposite hand. I'm excited to see him and see how well he does tonight.
Guys, we talked about it again all week. I feel like we've talked about it for weeks at length. Our teams, we're certainly blessed to have this many teams at this stage in the game. I mean, the last time 5 teams were in the regional final was 2013. So you fast forward 7 years from that moment, we've got 5 really, really good teams that have great chances to win state championships. Steve, I'll start with you. What are the chances that we come home with 5 or a handful of rings here in the 3-3-0 and YSN?
I love them. I really do. I don't think, and I've said this to a lot of people, I don't think our area gets the respect that they should. Tonight's a great opportunity to see some of that momentum from over this way in Chardon. You're going to be playing a good football team there with JFK. And then tomorrow night, you know what? I will take my chances with Sean Guerrero, Coach Yeagley, and Coach Reardon. I will take those 3 as a part of the YSN family and those 3 football teams. Yes, Kirtland's a good football team, but I'm going to say it right now. I think South Range is better. I really do believe that they have the ingredients to go up and win a football game. I think a lot of times, Deej, Kirtland is so good. There's no doubt about that. But this is 2020's football team. This isn't the last 70 games. This isn't the regular season. This is a game tomorrow night for them that's just one game. And the kids, we talked last week, they get a chance. They've heard about Kirtland for a year now. You get a chance to just go play. And I think that's going to be a huge advantage for South Range to go play. Coach Guerrero, I love him. He's a dot your I, cross your T. They don't leave anything off on the practice field. They're prepared for everything. I think they roll over a good Creston Norway team. And Coach Reardon, let's be honest, how many people would have said, come brackets, that Urson will be at home against a 12 seed tomorrow night to go to the state semifinals? So again, YSN has the 5 best teams in the Yo in our network, and that's why we do what we do.
And that's the fun part about it, right? Is people always talk about these teams. They talk about the other 47 or so teams that we have as well, but we get to watch them. We're fortunate enough to watch them week in and week out and kind of explain the entire narrative from the highs of the high to the lows of the low and back up that mountain. Quinn, talk to me about, where you're seeing the outcome of the 3-3-0 for YSN and teams bringing back some state runs here as they head towards the state semis.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Steve hit the nail right on the head. We have the best teams that are left by far, in my opinion. Whether it's Springfield, South Range, JFK, Canfield, Ursuline, it doesn't matter. I like our chances in every one of these games. I really do. I think you're going to see a great JFK team really put a smackdown on this team. You're going to see Canfield come out here and play a really great game. Hopefully Richie's excited and Niddle's over there excited too. I know they're chomping at the bit to get this thing started too. And then like Steve said, tomorrow we got great games tomorrow too with Coach Reardon, Coach Guerrero, and Coach Yeagley. I like our chances in every one of these games.
Now, obviously, getting started a little late tonight because of some traffic issues between East Palestine, Ohio, the short flight to Warren, Ohio, to Mollenkoff Stadium. And again, anytime you travel with this guy, it's going to be an adventure. So naturally, tomorrow we'll get started 5:30, right on the dot. We'll have some guests bringing it in. We'll probably abbreviate this one a little bit tonight because, quite honestly, we haven't set up yet, and that's probably something that people are interested in seeing a football game tonight here on YSN. For those of you who are joining us who still haven't heard, Spectrum will be taking the reins tonight in Chardon. They'll have the Canfield and Chardon matchup. We will have the audio broadcast only. So if I were you, what I would do is I would buy that matchup so you can see it. And as Steve said, crank her down and crank up Richie and Gary so that way you can get that hometown feel and the same one you've been getting all season long. right here on YSN. The audio broadcast is absolutely free, so there's no charge to you. So go spend your $10 with Spectrum or OHSA or wherever that money goes. You know where our money goes. 25% of it goes right back to the schools, to where you purchase the virtual ticket. So if you're looking to watch any other games this weekend, make sure that you purchase a virtual ticket on either one of the other 4 schools' web pages, so that way you're ready to go. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll talk about maybe a little bit prediction-wise, what we're going to see in tonight's games, and essentially a whole lot more before we get the games kick-started tonight at 7 o'clock right here on YSN. We'll be back right here after the break, and this one brought to you by G. Burbick Farm.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at bairdbrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to YSN Primetime. DJ Yoakley, Jeff Fatos with you here in Warren, Ohio. We've got Quinn Pushkar and Steve Leslie out in Chardon. Boys, let's give a quick preview of what we can expect. We'll go ahead and start War of JFK, if that's all right with you. We'll go full screen here. So here in Mollenkopf Stadium, what I'm looking at is a steady diet. Is what we usually see is Cam Hollabaugh, Jesse Likens, and 4 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks for Jesse Likens has taken some of the pressure off of Cam. But if you're Lucas, you've got to stop both of them, and I don't think it's possible.
Oh, no. If you're going to do something, you just got to contain one of them if you're Lucas. But I don't think you even can contain one of them. Both of them are a dangerous force to be reckoned with. I really think JFK is going to come out and oppose it well and play a full football game this year coming off the bat.
We got the boss blaring in the background, so hopefully we don't get dinged with a copyright infringement. But what I'll tell you is, Lucas, you know what you're getting. Coach Prologo said earlier this week on Running Point, you know what you're going to be stacking up with against Lucas, but you know what you have to beat too. So, I mean, let's just face it. We said it already tonight. Both these teams deserve to be here, but there's a reason that Warren JFK is the top seed in this region, and I think they're out to prove it tonight. We can talk all we want about the 2 lightning in a bottle backs in the backfield for Warren JFK, but you can't go anywhere without talking about the Blue Storm, which is this Warren JFK defense.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. I'm really excited to see them for the first time all year. But knowing them from in the past when we played them is that they're tough. They fly to the football. They game tackle very well. They tackle very well. And I think this team is just fired up, ready to go because, Lucas feels like they're going to come in here and roll with an easy victory.
There's a lot of people that are thinking that Lucas is going to roll in here and roll out like a steam engine. We're going to turn it over to the voices of the Canfield Cardinals, Gary Niddle and Richie Giuliano. Boys, how are we?
We're doing good. How about you?
Doing fantastic. You guys are going to be up on the Mass Tower over there in Chardon. Talk to us about what you're seeing. Weather couldn't be any more perfect for us being outside in the elements. Talk to us about what you're seeing for this Canfield Cardinal team and what you expect tonight.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a tough matchup for Canfield. Both teams undefeated. Chardon, the number 1 seed in the region. They run a very high-powered wing tee, which you don't see very often, and we'll touch on that later. But first off, Canfield, they're going to have to bring their A game tonight. They pulled off a couple of big upsets against Streetsboro, but you know what? This is one of the best teams that they will play all year. Mike Pavlansky said that himself, and this is going to be a very quick game. Both teams like to run the ball a lot, but I think this game, Coach Niddle, is going to come down to the turnovers. Canfield has turned the ball over way too much this year. They got to work on that tonight.
And that's something we've talked about all season long as we've been doing these games and I just talked to Steve and them and told them, and they didn't realize that Canfield's turned the ball over more than their opponents over the course of the season. And as you move forward through the playoffs, we've been saying over and over again, that's got to stop. That's got to change. And I'm going to tell you, against Chardon tonight, that's going to be a big factor in this game because it's a ball control offense. I'm fortunate enough, I was telling Coach Leslie earlier, I coached at South Range my first year coaching with Coach Yeagley, and we ran wing tee. I went to Liberty, and we ran wing tee, and I know what the wing tee brings to the table. They're going to be very disciplined. They're going to run the football. There's a lot of misdirection, and now it's almost a dinosaur. You don't see it anymore, and it's really hard for these defenses to prepare against.
So, guys, when you think about it, you talked about the turnovers, but you look at Brock Lowry, and he has really come out of his shell, especially late in the first half of the football season, into the second half. Talk to me about how much rides on this young man's arm tonight and legs, I guess.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, arms and legs. He rushes and throws for over 1,000 yards this year. He's the leader of this offense. Everybody knows that. Everything runs through Brock Lowry, and Coach Niddle, I think tonight he's going to have to step up and have one of the biggest games of his year.
The only knock on Brock Lowry has been his turnovers. And, that's something we've touched on. I think he has 7 fumbles on the season. If he controls the football, he holds on to the football, he's thrown at a clip over 72% for the season. You don't see that in high school football. He's very accurate when he does put the ball in the air. And, we know he can run. He'll get off tackle. He'll run inside. He leads the team in rushing. Yards per carry, and he is a leader of this football team. And it took a couple weeks for him to take that role, but now if you talk to any Canfield Cardinal down there, they'll go to battle for him any day.
All right, it's what we call money time here on YSN Primetime. Final score predictions, starting with you, Coach Niddle.
I'm going to tell you what, there's not going to be a lot of possessions in this football game. I think it's going to be a ball control game. I'm going to go with the Cardinals 21-17.
That's a good pick. I'm going to go 17-10. Canfield will pull it out on the final possession.
Boss?
I'm going to go Canfield 24, Chardon 10.
Ooh, a little 2-touchdownery. I'm going to go 27-14. So we're kind of all in that same area code. But I think we're all taking the Cardinals to fly high out of this and head to the state semis. So when you look at Warren JFK, guys, again, I know you kind of swapped out with Steve and Quinn, but really it all comes down to, it's a beautiful night. Anytime that the elements aren't an issue, Jesse Likens and Cam Hullabaugh are, because it's hard to stop good guys that can make play after play after play. And ISO on 2 players, you're forgetting about somebody, right? So you got Gabe Green out in the flats that if you want to make it an air attack game, he's going to make it an air attack game, and he's going to have a big one. If you want to stack up and stack the box, I would put this JFK offensive line against anybody. And quite honestly, we're going to find out tonight, and I think Lucas is in for having their hands full. So I'm taking Warren JFK tonight. High scoring, rather, 30 I would say 13. The Eagles fly tonight once again. Jeff? I'm
going to go JFK 24, Lucas 0.
Oh, little blank spot like Taylor Swift. Let's go to Richie. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go JFK 24-7.
24-7. Coach Niddle?
I'm going to stick in that range. I'm going to say, 28-21. And I can tell you right now, DJ, being a baseball coach at Canfield, I've seen a lot of Cam Hollabaugh on the diamond as well. And he is a freak athlete, and he's fun to watch. And you're going to have a lot of fun watching him tonight.
The king of the RPO.
That JFK is you have to play their best football. And I agree with you with some of the games that I've seen. I think this is the one they put it all together and move forward.
Yeah, this is the one they put a resume tape on. So they're making their way onto the field now. A little crazy train in the background. Boys, have a great broadcast. We'll be listening here on YSN. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight. YSN Primetime. Make sure you tune in. $9.99. You can get the JFK game and all the rest of the ones through the weekend. We have some regular season games as well tonight. And, of course, make sure if you're looking to watch the Cardinals tonight, Spectrum has it. We don't from the video standpoint. Buy the Spectrum broadcast, crank it down, and turn on YSN and crank Richie and Gary up real loud and make sure you're cheering on the Cards from the comfort of your own home. That's going to do it for YSN Primetime. Kickoff right around the corner, right here on your sports network. See you, boys. Thank you very much.
Good luck, boys.